We don't have a title for this thing yet, which is great because when we release this, I hope we do have a title.
Suck it, Christian from the past. We got a title now. Welcome to episode 2 of Digital Leftovers. Go with the theme music! Hey, welcome to episode 2 of Digital Leftovers. My name's Matt. Damn it, no, you're Matt. I'm Christian. You're Matt. So you remember how in the last episode we I totally flubbed everything I was saying in the first 5 seconds?
Right.
It's now I'm a 2 for 2 right now. I'm a twofer. God damn, how you doing, Matt?
Welcome to Digital.
See, you're doing it too. It's not just me.
Fuck yes. God damn it.
I'm looking at the waveforms right now. We're really fucking loud.
Oh, I know.
That's right. We can fix it in post. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Welcome to Digital Leftovers, everyone. The word of the day is "fuck me, Freddy. It's cold outside."
And what? Also brought to you by the number Surge. I mean 2. We have 2 Surges. I'm going to die today by drinking a Surge.
Yeah, Surge from the 90s. I have never had one of these before, but I guess they were really popular in the 90s.
I think I did once in the... Are we doing this again?
Let's
okay.
Fuck yeah.
On go. 3, 2, 1, go. It came on my face.
Oh god.
Oh, it got in my eye.
I am so sorry, guys. Let me just get that off of you for a sec. I am so sorry. Yeah, you just got a little on your face there.
Man, that tastes...
I'm assuming that was from all the shivering as I was walking up, because you have a fucking 300-mile walk from the car to the door, and the whole time I'm like, fuck, and I'm shaking the bag and just thinking, oh god, these are gonna explode.
It's a lot more citrusy than I thought it would be.
Very
citrus flavored soda. That makes sense.
I mean, that's straight up.
You ready for your dick to fall off by drinking Surge? Yeah, me too.
I am so excited for my pee to burn. And then you have fucking Haribo gummy bears here, which if you haven't yet, check out the Amazon reviews on these. Fucking, they're so hilarious.
Is that a thing? Okay, hold
Apparently, yeah. Just Amazon.com. Haribo gummy bears. Here's the thing. The most popular item on there is a 60-pound bag.
Okay, I'm looking at the 60-pound bag.
It's 5 out of 5 stars, and yet the reviews, I don't know. Some of them are crazy. I know some of them are on Imgur or Reddit. They constantly get reposted, and you get a shit ton of karma from it just because
It's a well-known fact that alien spacecrafts utilize flatulence as a main source of propulsion. In order to fully harness the massive amount of energy expelled, however, proper initial catalysts must be used. The sugar-free variety containing lysium is ideally suited for this task. This product contains sugar, not lysium. Whatever, I can't read. Unfortunately, renders it unsuitable for the type of projectile bowel movements necessary. That is the first review on Amazon.
I'm telling you, even the top ones, they're just so freaking good.
Okay, this is the last one I'm reading, and then we're moving on.
Go for it.
Question. Oh, sorry. The question for the last one I read was: have aliens tested the bears given the warning on the packet about gastrointestinal consequences in eating the product not on Earth? Question. Will eating the entire bag in one sitting give you an exorcism? Answer. Did you mean orgasm? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, no. All right, man. So we're here in episode 2, live from my living room. Oh, before we go on any further, hey, just to let you guys know, this week's episode of Digital Leftovers is sponsored by... Digital Leftovers! Woo! We don't have any sponsors because, well, we're in week 2. So since this is just a self-sponsored podcast for now,
we are self-pandering motherfuckers right now.
It's just going to be masturbatorial, self-promotion. So
we are currently stroking our mental egos right now, just everywhere. We are having a Limp Bizkit competition in our head.
Limp Bizkit.
Do you know what Limp Bizkit is? Not the rapper,
not the band,
but the game.
No.
Oh gosh.
If you have any kids in the room, get them the fuck out right now.
Who the fuck watches our podcast? Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, Limp Bizkit. You have a circle of guys. You have to have at least 3 or 4.
Is it the first 2 or the last to come that eats the biscuit?
The last one to
yeah.
to jizz has to eat the biscuit.
Yep, no, I have heard of that. Okay, if we're talking about that shit, and we're gonna get to the self-promote, it's like, hey, welcome to our self-promoted podcast. Let's talk about fucked up sex shit. So Limp Bizkit's fucked up. But you know what else is fucked up? The Alaskan Pipeline.
Oh God.
Okay. So you shit in a condom, and then you freeze it, and then you just like peg yourself with it. It's like, Okay.
I think we've just figured out the formula for the 4th Human Centipede movie.
Yes.
It's not even a centipede, just constant, just gross out shit.
This podcast right here is why my parents won't be proud of me. Okay, so
drinking Surge and talking about our dicks falling off, Haribo and the bloody shits and alien parasites and
orgasmic exorcisms.
What do you think of us now, South Park? We have set the bar lower.
So like I said, we're sponsoring ourselves. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at AceAvery.
I am at EkoGrande, EkoGrande.
And we, as a unit, are Digital Leftovers is the title. Is the name of our Twitter, but it's at 2 bros 1 Mike. 2 bros 1 Mike. Go ahead and give us a follow, retweet something. We've done like 6 tweets maybe. I think my favorite thing is like we made the Twitter account like before or after we recorded the first one, right? It was like right before or right after.
It was literally before you were about to cut us out that I'm like, hey, we have our masturbatory shit too.
We masturbated our Instagrams on our own Twitters.
We jizzed all of our handles onto the mic. So you guys are welcome.
Yeah, we did that, and so we made the Twitter, and then you followed. That's another thing I want to talk about this week. There's that Twitter account you followed. You tweeted. It was like our first tweet. It was like, "Hey, you guys keep fighting." GFD.
Gamers Fighting Depression.
Why don't you explain that to me? Because like I didn't know that was a thing until you followed it, and I was like, "Holy shit, what's this?"
Honestly, yeah, it's the biggest non-profit for like people who deal with mental issues, depression, anxiety. Just a lot of the basic, social hardships that a lot of people can go through. It's for all ages. You could literally be 4 or 5 years old. Don't know why you'd be 4 or 5 years old on the computer. You should be, outside playing baseball.
Read a fucking book.
Read a book. But it's just for people of all ages who, are also our gamers. So it's essentially just a group where you are welcome to come in and just chill with other people. You can play games together. They have support chats literally every single week. I was in it for like the initial stage, and every now and then I just kind of lurk on their subreddit. They used to have a website, but as of now I just plug them whenever I can, just because it's such a great group. And I wish I could have gotten more involved, but hey, at the very least I can do is tell people, to check it out. Because if you're a gamer and you deal with, those social hardships, you don't get a lot of friends.
That mental, fuck you that we all go through at least once in our lives.
Yes. And if you're nerdy as hell, you love to game, you don't have to be a gamer. It says Gamers Fighting Depression, but just if you're part of that community, that young adult, even our age people that just are dealing with that stuff.
Vibrated. Sorry, my phone is in my crotch, and I was not ready for that. That's another thing. Is even if you're not a gamer or a nerdy person, but you just want to get involved, man, shit, hit them up. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. I am literally, I've known about them for 7 days, and I'm holy fuck, let's do it. So hey, if anyone from Gamers Fighting Depression wants to hit us up, dude, let's fucking play games, dude. Fuck it, I love video games. You love video games. Video games are the fucking best. Hey, you know what that was, Matthew? You know what they call that? They call that a fucking segue. What are you playing right now?
Oh, video games. I am experiencing hella feels with a little game called Life is Strange.
Okay, so explain, because if you explain this game to me as kind of like the Telltale's
it's
Walking
definitely
Dead,
Telltale, Walking Dead, Borderlands, Game of Thrones.
Who made the game?
Oh, Square Enix, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, you mean that Pokemon? Yeah, he's my favorite Pokemon.
the Pokemon. Yes.
Fuck you. Enix? Onyx.
Onyx.
Okay, so what's it called? Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. Yeah, it's so it's basically a story based. You could do Let's Plays out of it if you wanted, but it's definitely a story heavy. Point and click. But there is an actual game to it, believe it or not. While Telltale, a lot of it's based on the dialogue and the options you pick to tell the story, this game has that too, but there's actually points in it where you're actually going around and exploring and interacting with the world. Because the biggest mechanic of the game, you get to rewind time.
That's what you told me. You were like, hey,
yes.
it's imagine, Telltale's Walking Dead. but it's like, oh fuck, I wonder if I can save that person, if I can make that outcome, and you're like,
if you made a decision and it's like you wanted to find out how the other decision went, you know, you can click that shit, you know, hit the control button, and then you rewind back, and then you try the other dialogue, and it's like the game actually prompts you. You're like, oh, maybe I don't want to get this person in trouble. This could come back to bite me, because then like a little prompt will pop up. The game is really good at like holding your hand through a lot of things, but at the same time, the story is brutal enough that, you know, you don't have to worry about getting guided through a lot of things.
It doesn't feel like linear by holding your hand too much.
No, yeah, it'll prompt you like this action will have consequences. A little butterfly will pop up.
It's kind of like in like Telltale, or at least I haven't played like the Game of Thrones one or Tales from the Borderlands. That's the Telltale one, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's Telltale.
Gotcha. But in like The Walking Dead, I've had a stroke just now.
Freudian slip.
Maybe. It's like Clementine will remember that. It's like something similar to that.
So such and such will remember that. It's literally like that, but that, you know, obviously that's a consequence that you have to deal with. It forces you to deal with that. Mm-hmm. But this game introduces the idea of like, what if you don't want them to remember that? What if you want them to remember something else?
It's like, hey, red flag, if you want to change this fuck up you're about to make, you can. It's cool.
Yes.
I pulled up Life is Strange because I've got a million tabs open. Life is Strange video game. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. Steam out of 10. What do you think it gave it?
9.5.
You were so close.
9.6.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10
on Steam.
It's overwhelmingly positive, you know, recently and overall. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, I'm not one to, you know, circle jerk over something that, you know, is really overrated.
I am.
Of course he is. Christian is definitely that man. But you know what? It deserves that 10 out of 10 just because like it starts out pretty slow at first. You know, obviously the first episode is free. You know, you don't have to buy the first episode. And then if it's like, hey, if you like the first episode, and I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking just it takes off immediately. You know, obviously there's a lot of expository stuff at the beginning. You know, you start in a classroom, you're getting lectured, you're an 18-year-old girl who just came back to this hometown. It's called Arcadia Bay, and it's literally just like a Groundhog Day type scenario, just a really tiny town.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Talk about how good of a movie Groundhog Day is.
It's fucking Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow. They just introduced the idea that it's like, what if you did have a chance to just go over stuff again?
I think I experienced my first childhood heartbreak by watching Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Like, because I watched it as a fucking kid, right? And I was like, I know what it was. I'm like, oh, I love that actor. Of course, at the time, I didn't know his name, but I was like, he's funny. And so I'm like, I'm going to watch this. And then he's like, CPRing the homeless, and I'm like, save him, please!
Oh, gosh.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that movie. Homeless guy dies no matter what.
No matter what he does. And it's like, to think about, you know, I've looked it up. If you Google it, there's actually a result that like you know how like when you Google something, like typically something that's gonna sound great.
Yeah, that's gonna sound really good on the microphone.
When you Google something, like a lot of the time, it won't just give you top results. It'll give you like an actual highlight from an article or something. If you look up Groundhog Day, how many days did Bill Murray reset? There's actually a thing that pops up, and it says he possibly relived that day up to 300 years total.
Here, I looked up how many days did Bill, and it came up with how many days did Bill Murray live in Groundhog Day? According to the website, Wolfnards, which is a great name. I'm so glad that's a website, because I'd be like, Matt, we need to grab that website.
So creative.
Bill Murray spent 8 years, 8 months, and 16 days trapped in Groundhog Day. The website, obsessed with film, claims he was trapped 12,403 days, just under 34 years. So anywhere from like 8 years to like 300 years.
It just jumped.
And like, could you imagine being in that situation where like you had the power to just like reset? I feel like, you know, we would all do what he did, at least in some degree. It's kind of like some people talk about like with Tolkien in the One Ring. It's like, you know, it's a ring of ultimate power. Yeah. You can't, you know, say that you wouldn't be corrupted because you don't know what ultimate power feels like. And he kind of played with that idea. It's like, you know, this is why Frodo and like a hobbit had to fucking take the ring, because it was like, men have shown they can't fight, you know, absolute corruption from absolute power, so someone else has to do it because humans suck. And Matt, man, humans suck.
It just highlights that concept, and that's what Life is Strange does. Is like it not just introduces the idea that you have the power to control time. You know, not just by going to sleep or dying that the day resets, but you're able to just hold your hand out and then you just rewind as long as you can. You can't go back too far, obviously.
There's like a cutoff
within the restrictions of the game. Like, say you're in the high school and you make a decision, and then you leave the high school. That is when the decision gets locked in. So, like, it'll tell you that. That's what the first episode does, is, like, really lay out a lot of good shit that, you know, is obviously good guidelines. But by episode 2, that's when it goes, all right, you know everything about this game, have fun.
Good luck.
The best part is, everything's in the first episode, and again, the first episode is free.
Oh, is it really?
Free. Yes, it's free.
I'll give it a shot.
It does a lot, and that, I'm not gonna lie, it takes off. Like I was saying, it has some expository stuff at the beginning. You're in a classroom, you know, you're an 18-year-old girl coming back to this small town that has such a big ass academy called Blackwell Academy. She wants to be a photographer. She's in a class with a very famous photographer who she looks up to and probably has a little crush on. I'm kind of curious how that's gonna turn out, because all the girls at this school are literally wet about this guy. I'm almost positive.
Okay, my neighbor just made a really loud noise. I wonder if they're upset.
I certainly hope not.
God, I hope not.
I wouldn't think that. You sure that's not Daphne? That sounds like it's from.
No. That's downstairs. That's my downstairs neighbor being like. I wonder if the mic picked it up. That'd be funny as fuck.
Oh god, yeah, they picked up the slams.
We're gonna know when we go back and listen to it. We either hear the bang and me going, what the fuck, or we sound like crazy people because there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's when the ghost in my apartment goes, hi. Like, ooh. So you're playing Life is Strange. I have been on a League of Legends kick like a motherfucker. And then I used to play a lot of WoW. And one of my buddies hits me up. And that's the thing, though, is like, WoW is a fun game. I hate that it's $15 a month. Like, if it was $10 a month, I would like hella justify playing it more, right?
Right.
But the reason I have fun with like games like League or WoW when you need another person to play eventually is it's the multiplayer aspect, right? I mean, I could sit down and like just play WoW by myself for hours and be fine and have fun. But the second you have someone like in comms with you talking, it's like, oh my god, this is so much fun. So my buddy Matt, not you Matt, but another Matt, is like, hey, so Christian, I've been thinking. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. And he's like, I want to resub to WoW. I'm like, you motherfucker, you are literally the only reason I am either playing WoW or not playing WoW. Oh, and so we started some characters. Right now I'm rolling I got bored with DPS. Hey, Tuka, that means Daphne's awake because the door is open. Or she opened the door. Daphne? Never mind. I love you.
And here she comes.
Hey, Daphne.
Daphne in the flesh.
I want to be on the podcast.
Do you want to? We'll say hi to the podcast. It's right there.
Hi, podcast.
Hi, Daphne. That's
Daphne, Christian's beloved fiance,
She's
and
hugging my face.
also my adopted sister. She is an amazing person. I can't say that well enough.
She
And there she is, just flaunting her shit. And
Literally
just
pool.
Loving life. Literally shitting herself.
Okay, so I'm playing WoW again, and I got bored with DPS, and I used to play like I love playing like the supporty class, like the tanks and the healers, right? So when we re-rolled, he played a hunter.
So much dog.
There's a lot of dog happening. Oh yeah, by the way, we adopted a second dog. My childhood dog, Walker, has two brothers with 4 legs each, 2 tails, 8 legs, 4 floppy ears. The moon. Anyway,
Mexican Armada brothers.
Tomato, old lady.
How often are we gonna quote Rick and Morty before we get fucking tired on this podcast?
Absolutely fucking never.
Never. It's gonna be so.
And then season 3 fucking happened.
And then when season 3 eventually comes out, then it just amplifies. But not brand new dog. He's like 6 or 7 years old. New dog in our house. Fucking love him. Wow, we're talking about WoW. So I'm playing a tank, and I fucking love tanking. I'm playing a druid, so I'm a bear.
Everyone who's going to be watching this podcast think like the audio skip or something.
Yeah.
You're talking about dogs and be like, oh, wow, that's right, we're talking about WoW.
And they're just like, what the fuck happened? Did they edit wrong? No, we're just that spastic.
That's what I mean.
Today, I'm blaming it on Surge.
Surge,
also,
yes.
This has gotten better the more I've drank it.
The more, I'm realizing, this tastes like piss at first, but then I'm like, you know what? It's
pretty good piss.
It's okay. I can see why, a lot of nostalgic kids born in the 90s, thought this was part of their daily,
routine.
90s traditions.
Another thing, I'm playing League, I'm playing WoW, you're playing Life is Strange. Okay, there's a game I wanted to touch on that you started playing, and it's a game that's in early development or whatever.
Early access.
And you were like, hey, because you and I, let's be honest. You and I got burnt by No Man's Sky in early access. We don't have to talk about that right now, but we can just all agree we all got fucked.
I think,
right?
yeah, we don't have to speak of the dark days. That anyone who's listening, if you're a gamer and you got hyped by Sean Marie's promises, which turned out to be lies, just, we understand your pain.
You know what the
we at
shittiest
Digital
part about
Leftovers
that
know
is?
your pain.
The shittiest part about that for me is I didn't buy into the hype until the day before it came out, and that's when I pre-ordered.
It was like 2 or 3 days before for me too.
And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Hey,
And
dogs, go
when
on.
it's...
Okay, they didn't. Go on. Ow, ow. Anyway, the one of them left. He won't. He's a fucking brick wall.
They get so territorial.
I know. I love it. But no. Knocked. You introduced me to Knocked, and you were like, I know we got burnt by, by No Man's Sky and Hello Games, but you told me that the community and the dev is actually really active in the community.
I was trying to convince Christian that, No Man's Sky, yes, it came out as a AAA game, but let's be honest, it's still early access, because 90% of the features aren't even in it. Now, hear me out about this other early access game that's actually early access.
Before you explain it, can I read the description real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So Knocked. Video game.
N-O-C-T.
It's N-O-C-T. So far, it is 7 out of 10 on Steam, which I think is a pretty reasonable score, especially for an early access game.
Yeah.
Knocked is an upcoming survival horror top-down shooter video game in development by Canadian-based indie developer C3SK. Sesk. Okay, thank you. And published by Devolver Digital. I didn't know any of that. Developer's name is Chris Eskins. So go ahead and tell us about it, Matt.
It's top-down shooter. If you've played either of the Hotline Miami games, which it plays exactly like that, which I can see why Devolver Digital was interested in it because it has that exact same play style. So there's so many things I can compare with Hotline Miami to Knocked, but the most prominent thing is a lot of us are theorizing that Devolver published it because they see it as an unofficial sequel to Hotline Miami 2.
Is it kind of like with post-apocalyptic Hotline Miami world?
Yeah. Now I don't want to give too many spoilers with that, but there is a reason why they would think.
You mentioned that. Now I haven't finished Hotline Miami, right?
Yeah.
But I can see where it's coming from because I was watching, while we were playing it, I realized the character kind of looked like a Hotline Miami character, and then there's also guns and weapons and shit in it. So what you do is you're put into this post-apocalyptic scenario, and it's all in black and white and very low detail.
Think of the movie Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Because there's no daylight. The apocalypse has happened. The sun has either exploded or has just completely faded out of existence because it's pure darkness.
But you're being watched by something. The top down, it kind of looks like you're being watched by
a satellite feed or this.
And there's a map that kind of shows you can see it's an all black map with the slightly darker black spot. Those are your buildings you can run into.
Yeah.
And you can explore and get weapons and ammo and shit. And then there's a little timer.
Yeah. Which it didn't used to be like that. It used to have a story. There were 2 acts that were already out at the time of the game's release. It starts out and there was actually text. You could actually communicate to the person that you're controlling because the way the game is set up is that it's you're controlling the person that you're watching through this satellite feed, but it seems like you're watching as the person, controlling the satellite feed. So when the game first came out, there was actual dialogue between you two of the survivor that you're playing as is where am I? Where the hell am I? And you're they are losing their shit over there.
You're playing with toys and shit.
And, you're communicating with them what the hell happened? And the satellite person is saying the world is fucked up now. Go out and find supplies. Now here's where it gets interesting that the person is giving the survivor instructions. Go to this ship, get this key, and there was actually a story to it. I think what they were trying to build up to was discovering how this happened. It was going to be an initial backstory. And there were 2 acts out for it because the last thing that you were going to do was go to a military base. And then once you get there, a little dialogue will pop up saying, this is as far as we have gotten in the campaign. The rest of it will be coming out soon. Continue to explore and just have fun.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of loses its role because from that point on, there's no real progression. There's no more storyline. So that's what Sesk was doing for a while. But then over the next year, he started realizing, maybe I need to add something with a little more replayability. And that's when he retweaked it to become this timer-esque, just go out, get your shit, and then get back into your bunker, in 5 minutes, because that's what they added was...
So what it is you pop out of, like, a safe, like a bunker, right?
A bunker,
and
yes.
you have 5 minutes to go out and explore, and then, 2 minutes left?
At 2 minutes.
Shit hits the fucking fan. It's
Yeah.
like, the music gets intense.
You hear, like, a horn that sounds like the tripod from War of the Worlds.
Yeah, it's a warning, like, by the way, shit's about to go down.
Yeah. And if you're still out there within that last minute or so...
Like, the world is shaking.
That stuff was not in there before, and I'm glad it's there because it's very fucking
what you
immersive.
experience the whole time is, like, little beasts. Like, they kind of look like small spider, like, not small, like, big-ass spiders.
Oh, yeah, you are not alone in this
they're
world.
like
You have...
grubs. You start, like, fighting you, and, like, some are slow, some take more damage. Yeah, that's going to sound great on the mic. But then, like, when you start getting to the end, big shit starts to come find you.
Oh, yeah.
And they will hunt you down.
Giant-ass spiders, giant
And then when you
crawlers.
take enough damage, you get slowed. It's like, please let me get back to my fucking bunker.
We've had that a couple times where it's like the map used to be huge with the storyline, but ever since they retweaked it to the 5 minute, kind of deathmatchy, quick round kind of stuff, that you could be out, I would say it's a good 2 or 3 miles, in all directions from your bunker. So yeah, say you're out there and you'll still run into the small stuff. Like as of now, there's only 2 types of monsters, and I think Sesk is promising several more. He has a Twitter, and I'm pretty sure he has some concept art on there of new monsters that he wants to make, and I can tell how a lot of them are inspired by H.R. Giger, the guy who designed the alien costume for the Alien movies.
Yes.
Fucking H.P. Lovecraft and all his Cthulhu, mythos shit. Just a lot of it is really creepy shit, and I can't wait till it's actually in the game. Please put it in the game, Sesk, if you're listening.
Shout out to Sesk.
Yeah, Sesk, you have made a great fucking game. It's very early access right now, but it has a lot of fucking potential. I fucking love Knob.
Speaking of games, okay, we're gonna get back on actual track, but there's this game that a GIF of it popped up on Reddit a month or so ago. And on my Twitter account, which I don't have on this computer because this is my strictly digital leftovers computer now.
Was it the one you were talking about, with the bearded
with
guy?
the guard? Yeah, Daphne. Do you remember what the name of that game was?
The keeper.
The keeper. It was the keeper.
Yes.
Thank you. It's like the keeper. It's like a pixely side scroller game that it looks like it plays kind of like a Minecraft. Terraria-esque, at daytime, resource gather, do tasks, survive, nighttime, defend, right? And it looks... Okay, so, seriously, go... If you're listening to this, if you can hear my voice, look up the Keeper, teaser, and it's, just a minute long, just little pre-rendered, oh my god, I think it's some European game developer, and I follow them on Twitter to keep track of when they're doing shit, and I'm just the second this game comes out, I'm buying it, it's I hate to, it's kind of you can't judge a book by its cover, I hate to judge a game based on a rendered fucking cutscene, right?
Look at fucking No Man's Sky.
No Man's
the
Sky
trailers
another No Man's Sky knock right there.
Were programmed and it's that shit does not happen in the game, and it's
if only, right?
We want to say, if you are aware of the story and how it's gone since the game's release, they were under investigation for false advertising.
Oh yeah, and they won, right? They got away with it.
Hello Games got away with it, yeah. Which is dumb.
It's so shitty. I don't see any way that they could have not gotten away with it, because I don't think there was enough to show you guys fucked up, but no. So yeah, The Keeper is a game that unfortunately has baited me. Not maybe it's fortunately, I don't know. Baited me in with a trailer, and I'm like, holy shit, please be good.
It just looks nice.
fun.
Because when you showed the GIF to me, and that's what led me to check out the trailer, that it made me realize, so many people are making interesting shit, and it's where's the attention? How is this stuff not spreading around?
It's on
with how powerful social media is nowadays, that it's you would think that this stuff would get a lot more attention, but it's
on Steam Greenlight right now. Actually, fun fact, that's I followed on that too. You know what the game that I flubbed again. You know what that GIF made me want to do? Play D&D.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Now you haven't played a lot of D&D, right? Or have you played it all?
Never.
I know that we were gonna play Eric's campaign, and he's ready to go. By the way, for the record, hey, just pardon us if we nerd out for a second. Eric's ready to go in D&D.
I'm ready to go too.
He just needs us to somehow send him character sheets.
Yeah.
And we're good to go. I'm thinking about playing a paladin. I'm definitely playing a dragonborn. Paladin, but I might switch to like a sorcerer or a wizard. I don't know yet. But what are you playing? Are you playing a ranger?
I wanted to do ranger, because the thing is, I feel like I made the mistake of starting the backstory first instead of everything else because I consider myself a writer, and just writing it, I took a lot of inspiration from games like The Last of Us, movies that have that heartbreaking moment where the hero loses everything. John Wick, for example.
Yeah.
Fucking great movie. Can't wait for the sequel. Exactly.
Sorry.
the movie, because it's just so fucking original. Guy kills like 76 people in the movie because they killed his puppy.
It's like, hey, your asshole of a son killed my dog. I'm coming for him.
Yeah. And the best part is the mob boss knew that he was coming for him. God, I can orgasm all I want about John Wick. I think we'll save that for another podcast. After I see John Wick 2,
then we can talk about it.
We'll have a fuck ton of stuff to talk about with John Wick.
Let's move away from those two games. There's one game that we're both playing that I really want to talk about because it's technically early access. So this has been the early access game podcast today.
For at least like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Has it really been that long? I guess it has, because I've seen it and I was like, that doesn't look that good. And then finally, who was it that started the avalanche for this game? Was it you or was it Shannon and Steven?
I think it was Shannon and Steven. I mean, I played it, I just didn't have anyone to play with. We've been going into it and we haven't mentioned the fucking title.
Oh yeah, 7 Days to Die.
7 Days to Die.
7 Donkeys to Domesticate.
7 Diddles to Dongles.
7 Dumpsters to Dive.
7 Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
7 Dogs to... fuck you. Anyway.
That's a name for a title. You go into the corporate and it's like, the game's called like 7 Dogs to
just
fuck you.
Fuck you.
I quit. And then as he's walking out, they're like, oh, that sounds great. We'll sign him right now.
Hungry for apples?
Who likes apples?
Rick and Morty reference number... probably 12. I don't know.
It'll be 787.
So we're playing 7 Days to Die right now, and it's zombie survival game. Imagine the best way to describe it is imagine Minecraft, right? Better graphics,
realistic voxels, not like cubes.
And realistic or more realistic. Well, actually, not even more realistic. Just realistic physics.
Yeah.
There's physics in that game.
Yeah.
If I put a block 10 feet in the sky, if I just build a pillar up all the way up 10, and then I put a block on the side, that shit's gonna fall. And I guess not the first one, because we discovered this one. Okay, so big zombie survival game,
open world, crafting,
and there's lots. Hey, go on, dogs, go on.
Lots of zombies, lots of zombie types.
And so in our big game that we're playing with all our friends on a server is Go On Puppies. Thank you. I love my dogs, but they're in the way. We found a house and we just decided this is where we're living and we're going to fortify it. And so what we did...
Don't forget, it was in the pre-setup map as well.
Right.
Which is Navezgane. Something like, it's like Navezgane, Arizona, something like that. I think it's a fictional name for a city.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But I played it since it first came out, 2014. And I'm not going to lie, the game has come out a lot. Mm-hmm. Has had a lot of content come out since its release. Because when I first played it, some shit was still there, like checking out cars, checking out houses, but it didn't have electric powered stuff. Guns, you just had to find guns. You couldn't build them. There weren't any gun parts. You could still break stuff. A lot of the general mechanic stuff was there. When you loot stuff.
Mechanic stuff? So I just saluted Matt when he said, that's going to be an ongoing joke. Just fucking deal with it. Go ahead.
But yeah, a lot of the basic stuff was still there. When you look at something and it says untouched, that means you can open it, and it's like you're rolling for loot, and you have skill points that you can progress with various things. Leatherworking or gunsmithing, scavenging, a lot of shit.
Pardon me.
Woo, beautiful. That got me hard. But yeah, if you put a lot of points into stuff, when you're looting shit, you can roll for better loot. And just stuff like that. So there's a lot more to it than Minecraft, because Minecraft, sometimes has chests, but a lot of time it's just about going out, finding stuff to mine. Mining is in 7 days as well, but it's more about the survival. Minecraft can technically be survival because you have to eat food. If you get hurt enough, you die, and a lot of that basic shit is there, but that's just for kids. Mm-hmm. For kids can gobble that stuff up where they're, just going out and mining stuff, and to them that's fun. 7 days is more about the adventure of just being out in an apocalyptic wasteland full of zombies of all different types. And the best part is, obviously nighttime is a big part. You know, when it's nighttime, things can get harder. You can set an option for the zombies to run, but every 7 days, I think we can all agree.
Jesus Christ.
Every 7 days, you know, the title is literally that.
So like
7 days.
What happens is 7 days, and when we first started playing, when Eric came on, he's like, "Wait, is there only 7 game days worth of content?" I'm like, "Absolutely not," because like you get to day 7, right? You go through, and then night 7 hits, and the sky turns blood red.
You hear
and
screams out in the distance.
Scream in the distance, and then the horde is upon you, and you have to survive from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. 4 a.m. 2 a.m. 4 a.m. 4 a.m.
Yeah.
10 p.m.
You can change that, but
I think that's what our game is.
On average, yeah, it's like 10 o'clock at night, which is 2200 military time, because it's
all
always
military time.
It's always a military time.
I love that. I fucking eat that shit up, dude.
Yeah, 22 to like 0400, and it's like, yeah, between that time, you just get so fucked.
And it's so fun because you're like, holy fuck, it's going down. So in
Yeah.
our world, in our big friend world,
We've
the
got our
main
base.
the main core group is you, me, Shannon, Steven, Daphne, Eric, Tanner. Right?
Yeah.
So all of those people, I'm too dumb to count that right now. All those people are in one game, and we all usually have specific tasks. So we found this place, right? And the reason we got off this tangent, I was talking about the physics engine, and we fortified a house. And oh, Jesse plays that too. I forgot about Jesse.
Shout out to Jesse.
Shout out to Jesse, my boy, my lad.
My lad.
And I remember. Sorry, rewind for a second. I know why I started playing 7 Days. Why I just wanted to play 7 Days to Die, because I downloaded it because my other buddy Matt, he was playing it. He's like, we should play it, and I'm like, fuck it, let's play it. And we played a few times, and then our group just like enveloped themselves
Converged.
in it. Yeah.
And here I am on the side. You know, I've had it this
You've
whole
had it for
time,
years.
and I played it. You know, for I'd say a good 6-7
Oh, I
months.
kicked
when
the
it first
table
came
again.
out.
I'm so sorry.
I played it for a good 6-7 months since it came out, and it was very addicting, even just on my own, because I wanted that decent like open world zombie survival. Oh, he's showing me his pecs.
I had to take off my jacket because it's too hot, and I wasn't wearing a shirt under my
He
jacket.
is officially shirtless.
I'm half clothed.
Lady, sorry to say, he's not single, but I sure the hell am, you know, and I am totally looking. Just
Shout out to
kidding,
at
just
EkoGrande. That's EkoGrande at EkoGrande. But yeah, so Daphne built a little like terrace, a shooting gallery, if you will, above, so we could stand on top of our roof and shoot.
Just a straight up wood platform, which
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks awkward from.
It does look
Like
awkward.
when I'm going out scavenging, and then I come home and I just see this house, and at the top just this giant platform.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking at the house looks like it's graduating because it looks like a graduation cap.
That's awesome.
Just flat at the top. And I just, especially if it's on a night 7, increment, because it's like day 7, day 14, day 21, day 28, that if I'm on any one of those increments, and I'm out scavenging and I come home and I see everyone on top of the roof, it just looks goofy, but that's what makes it so fun. Like the crafting,
if
it just
looks
works.
dumb, but it works, it's not dumb. But we found out that there was a real physics engine because she started building out for little like buttresses so we could shoot down.
Oh, yeah.
And she got just one block too far and the whole thing just went and all fell out. She fell, broke her leg, and fixed it.
It makes it sound so real.
I know, what a good fucking game. Like, Daphne fell off a roof and broke her leg. That's some shit that would actually happen in the zombie apocalypse. It's like, oh, I'm building a terrace so we can shoot. Oh, fuck, I fell off of the roof. Let me get a fucking...
and it's not like Minecraft where you lose a couple hearts.
And
Like
then
you break your leg.
You walk slower.
You might still be hungry. You might still be thirsty. Like there's a lot of
another
factors that make it more real in Minecraft. Actually,
There's a temperature mechanic.
There's temperature.
There is a like an
which
exposure.
wasn't there before. I'm so glad that they
So
added that.
cool.
The weather biomes, are
Health,
perfect.
stamina. Oh my god, it's so just okay. If you have a chance, go check it out. I know I got it when it was $10. I think it's like what, 18, $20 at this point.
25.
25.
I'm pretty sure that price isn't going to change even after it comes out.
And I really hope so because the amount of playtime we have put into it, just us, our main group, have put into it, I have definitely gotten at least $25 worth of value. And I got it for 10. I've definitely gotten $10 worth of
Oh
game
yeah, if you
time.
can get it on sale, you get a shit ton of stuff for
At
whatever
least
you're
I
offering.
would give it a recommendation if you're listening. I'd give it at least go watch like some Let's Plays of it. Just watch some people play it, and if you think it's a game for you, I highly recommend giving this one a shot. Do not sleep on this one. Again, we've all been burned by early access, But seriously,
This game proves that like early access, is a viable like option. Look at Kerbal Space Program.
Oh my! I never played it. I've seen it played.
It's
oh my god!
So hard, but it can be really really fun.
Do not sleep on 7 Days to Die because with how intricate and deep this game goes, the map is big, but it's not that big, right? Which is fine. But there's a lot of content within that game that you can find, and I don't want to get into it because we'll be talking about this for the next 3 hours. Then it's like, oh fuck, we have a 4-hour long podcast. God damn it! Just give this one a shot. I'm going to leave it at that. Matt, there is a topic I want to talk on very briefly, and I'm actually going to we have a list here. We don't script our podcast obviously, or else it'd be perfect because we're perfect.
Yeah.
But we do have like a basic guideline, and I see that we have a movie section here. I want to go to the reading section real quick because it's going to be short. I'm not really reading anything right now. I'm listening to the Dark Tower series.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I need to start because I'm on a hiatus for it right now. But it is so good. Stephen King's Dark Tower. Like imagine if Stephen King wrote Lord of the Rings as a western, and then just
beautiful.
Have you read it?
No.
Okay.
No. Didn't they greenlight the movie?
It's coming out. But the movie, and Daphne can help me with this because she's the one that got me. Hey Daphne, isn't the movie supposed to like take place after? The book series?
For what?
The Dark Tower movie.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the sequel to the 7th book.
Oh, okay, so the movie is not like...
There's 7 books? I thought
There's
it was like
7.
3 or 4.
Technically
There's 8.
There's one that comes after 4 and between 5.
So
released in 2012.
if you can't hear Daphne in the office, there's 7...
Stephen King for a second?
There's 7... Yo, Daphne, come in here for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our very first guest on Digital Leftovers. It's Daphne! Alright, so be a resident Dark Tower person, so tell us about it.
It's fucking amazing.
Fucking
Dark Tower.
glorious review.
Yeah, it's
So-
like
so
the
the
best
movie-
book series known to man.
So the movie takes place after the 7th book.
Yes.
And so Daphne, what she said before she came in here was there's actually 8 books. He wrote 1 through 7, and then wrote an 8th one that takes place in between the 4th.
And the 5th book that he wrote in 2012.
So you can read the series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 5, 6, 7, or you go 1 through 7,
And then,
and then read 8 that takes place in between 4 and 5.
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Because it just kind of like because I'm on that one right now. I
Yeah.
think.
And it's it's shorter than the first book.
Oh, and I know I'm on that one right now
Yeah.
because in the audiobook version, Stephen King fucking reads
He
it.
reads it himself.
He
which
reads
is
his own
really,
goddamn
really cool.
book. Oh.
Like in the book?
Like
The
in
audio,
the audiobook.
He narrates.
He
the
narrates
audio
it.
for 4.5.
And something I realized, and I'm not going to spoil it here because you should read it. He reads the foreword, right?
Yeah, he reads the foreword for every single book that is produced into an audiobook.
And he reads it, and in the foreword he talks about, it's like, you could read just this book and not read any of the Dark Tower, but there's 3 facts that you need to understand, and it's like, blah, 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 major fucking spoiler, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm sitting there knowing these facts, because I've listened up to this point, but it's like, you're just gonna tell them that? Steven! What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, if they're gonna skip all the other books and go straight
You
to
kind of
that
have to
one,
know
they
that.
kinda need
It's
to
like
know that.
a hella mic drop. It's like, oh, the protagonist did this in the past. Like, holy shit, Stephen King, goddamn. Like, it's like he's like 6 sentences in. He's like, here's a really big spoiler plot point. Hey, go on, pups. Go on, pups. Out. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And Daphne will straight up divorce my ass if I don't finish that book series before the movie comes out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go see the movie with you until you finish that book series.
That is why I need to
will
finish
go
the book
3
series.
times without.
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, we have our first Digital Leftovers challenge.
Can Christian nerd out and listen to an audiobook while playing video games?
Please.
Yeah.
while playing games at the same time.
Oh,
Speaking
no.
of games, we totally forgot you are getting back into Undertale.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, so I'm playing Undertale again. And I really wanted to discuss this with you because we had this conversation, part of this conversation, before off mic. I played Undertale when it first came out. I think we all kind of did. It was hyped. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. But then, before I started playing it, I heard about the multiple endings. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of like an RPG-esque, blah, 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 blah.
And more or less about the multiple endings, just the multiple, like outcomes that each and every single decision. I mean, everything you do in the game affects the story as a whole.
I have yet to finish the game, but when I started playing, I was like, cool, there is a neutral ending where you play and you kill, or because one of the mechanics in the game is you can kill the enemies you fight or you can spare them. And some of the enemies are hard to spare. You have to figure out what you have to do to spare them in the fight while dodging all their damage. And I was like, that's a really cool mechanic that you can spare. Because you play Final Fantasy, it's like, oh, there's the villain, fucking kill it, right?
Yeah.
Then I heard there's 3 endings. There's only 3, right? The 3 major endings, right? There's the neutral ending, that's you just play the game. There's the pacifist ending, where you don't kill anything. And there's the genocide ending, where you kill everything you encounter in a fight. So I heard about that, and I never heard any spoilers. Matt, when did Undertale come out? Hold on, let's Google that shit.
September 2015 or October?
Undertale release date.
I'm almost positive it was
Okay,
October.
what was your guess?
September 2015.
Ooh, okay, it's September of 2015. What's the date? Just call a date, come on.
20th.
Oh, you were this close. September 15th, 2015. Good grab. Okay, for the
Thank you
record,
for playing.
92% on Metacritic, 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Which, again, Life is Strange, I know 10 out of 10 is very, very generous for a lot of titles.
Look, we're going to pause real quick. So
we are pantomiming just getting the dogs to get the fuck out.
So Walker, our the dog that we have in our house, that my childhood dog, he has taken up resident in our office and will rarely leave the office. That's where he feels safest. He is in our living room right now, just fucking chilling, which is awesome. It's so good that he's getting comfortable here.
So you guys are witnessing, maybe not the visual aspect of it, but the
dog
audio aspect.
history. You're definitely hearing the pause going.
Just lots and lots of dogging, that doesn't ever happen in the living room. It's always in, the safe spaces, the bedroom, the office, just all that.
So Undertale. So when I first started playing Undertale, I'm like, cool, I'm going to go for the pacifist ending, which was a mistake. Because I let the excitement of having multiple outcomes of a game dictate how I played the game. And in doing so, I had zero fun playing Undertale. And everyone was like, it's the greatest game ever. You gotta play all the things. Blah, blah. If I would have been better off and would have definitely had more fun if the first time I played Undertale, I had not known that there were 3 different endings. Neutral, pacifist, genocide. Because I let that dictate how I played the game. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not playing this game how I, Christian, would play this game. Because here's what I would do. As an example, very early fight. So you encounter something like a random slime, right? If I'm playing an RPG-esque game like that, I'm just gonna kill that fucking slime.
You want that EXP.
I want that experience. I want to level up. I want to get stronger. Then, slight spoiler, but
and then get your level, which is LV. Daphne, wink, wink, wink.
See, they've played
EXP and LV.
They've played the game.
Experience level. But is that what it stands for in the game?
Hey, fuck you both.
You'll get to that point eventually.
I'll get there.
I think you'll get your mind blown when you find out.
Perfect. So, then minor spoiler here. So if you don't want a spoiler, just skip ahead a minute, maybe. You interact with Toriel. What the fuck you say her name? The cow. Toriel. You interact with Toriel, and she takes you in and protects you. She's kind of like a mother-like figure. And then you try to leave, and she's like, "No, you're not leaving. Let's fight." And I'm like, "But I don't want to kill Toriel." Now, if I would not have known that, I probably would have just killed her, because you're sending him away on my objective. This is an RPG. Blah 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 blah. But I spared her, and I'm really glad I did because I feel like I'd have been heartbroken. Okay, spoilers over. So it's when you fight her, I guess not spoilers over. We're talking about it again. Fuck you. It's like that's
he's telling the mic "fuck you," and it could be 20,000 people.
That's the moment when I was like, okay, I need to play this game my way. That's what I'm doing now. I didn't play it for months, right? I mean, it's 2017, and I played it when it came out. It's been 2 years. I haven't played this game in 2 years, and I finally picked it up again. And just I know there's 3 different endings. I'm just gonna play this game. I'm gonna spare who I would spare. And I'm gonna kill who I would kill, and not worry about it. So I'm gonna right now how I'm playing it mostly so far is I'm killing all the slimes and the little things. I have saved every dog, however. Fuck that. I will not kill the dogs. I will spare them. They are precious and too good for this world. There was one thing I did let the internet dictate my decision on that game though. Is one of the dogs that when you pet it, its head goes. it like goes to the screen and comes back.
And when you ignore it, it gets closer and closer to the screen to the point
that.
Yeah, I think it's the little dog in the knight's armor that if you ignore it, it gets closer to the screen to the point that like it's like right at the bottom and its eyes are just peeking over the thing.
I defeated that dog just by like playing with it and like letting it sleep and like me pet it like Another quick thing back to the Toriel fight that I really enjoyed when I spared her was she fought you, and I realized this, and it's pretty much explained after the fight that the only reason she fought you was because she wanted to protect you and not like let you go out into the wild, right?
She just wanted you to live with her and be goat mom.
Yeah, exactly. Goat mom. Fucking
goat mom.
Love goat mom. Goat mom fights you, but then if you start to not fight her back, because how the game works when you fight is there's a little heart, and that's you, and you're in a box during combat, and you have to dodge their attacks, and you get to attack back. Eventually, after so many times of telling her, no, I'm not going to fight you, her attacks miss you. They'll fly at you, and when they get like this fucking close,
they scoot out of the way. Yeah.
And I was like,
you can actually kill yourself with the Toriel fight.
Really?
If you like try hard enough and get hit long enough, you'll die. And in that single frame before the heart breaks, you'll see Toriel with her hands to her mouth like, what did I just do? Oh yeah.
That's so
It's
cool.
technically part of the game, but I think it's more of an Easter egg because like the whole concept of that fight is that it's your very first fight, which is a fucking boss fight, and it's like you know
kind of change.
You're not supposed to. The mechanic is that you're not supposed to die at all. So I guess it's kind of an Easter egg that if you actually die, you'll see Toriel's face being like, I can't believe what I just did.
Killed her.
Yeah, I killed a kid. So
yeah,
it can get pretty crazy.
So okay, he's pawing at the door. Fuck. Anyway, so that's my life in Undertale right now. What is next on the digital leftovers list? Matt, let's talk about
movies.
You just watched a movie called Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid.
Let me tell you something about Turbo Kid, Matt. I have no fucking idea what that is. Why don't you go ahead and give me a brief synapse of
God.
Of Turbo Kid.
It's a kids movie for adults that is not a kids movie whatsoever. So I know that's like a contradiction than an uncontradiction, but that's basically the best way I can put it.
You're like a double, triple, quadruple negative. Bless you. You sneezed.
That's pretty much what it is. It's so fucking good. You know, I'm trying my best not to cuss, but it's like that's just the best way I can put it.
Hey Matt, is it so fucking good?
It's so fucking good. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's so fucking good.
Again, my parents will never be proud of me for this podcast because there's two words I say too much: fuck and cunt. Sorry, go ahead.
Continue. But yeah, it's 2015, like indie Sundance, independent movie. Not a lot of familiar names in it, except Michael Ironside, who plays the main bad guy.
What?
Yeah, and he actually plays a really good job because it's meant to be like a kid's. Like the acting is really campy, and everything's like you're gonna suffer, and just a lot of just really cheesy Dragon Ball Z level of dialogue. Yelling
3 episodes later. 6 episodes later. Hey Goku, fucking Vegeta killed the Earth. Fuck! Dragon!
Star Bomb!
Pump the dragon! Anyway.
But anyway, yeah, Turbo Kid, just fucking... Have you seen Drive? With Ryan Gosling?
Yes, I watched that with my college roommate, Elijah. Shout out to my college roommate, Elijah.
So, you know how that one is kind of like, the adult, 80s vapor, synthwave vapor like style, especially with the goriness. Like Hotline Miami was inspired by Drive.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Turbo Kid did the same thing, but like with like a post-apocalyptic, like superhero origin story kind of thing. But it's not based off of any comic book, which is the best part. It's an original story with an original superhero called Turbo Rider, I think it is, and that's who the main character aspires to be like. And it's like he's in this post-apocalyptic world, surviving on his own, and then he comes across this mysterious girl who, I'm not gonna lie, is really cute. Her name's like Laurence LaBeouf or something. She's a French actor. This is her first American film role. And
is that the chick? And this might be me just like making a general observation. Said French actress. Is that the chick that was in Amelia? It was on Netflix for a while.
I don't think so.
You know what's a great resource for this, Matt? IMDb.
IMDb.
Okay, so real quick, name of the movie was
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid. Okay,
Turbo Kid.
Keep going.
Yeah, 2015, and it's just it's a kids movie for adults. That's not a kids movie, and it's like the story seems kind of unoriginal, a little cliche, but I think that's the idea. They didn't take themselves too seriously, that's why the movie is fucking gory. Like, it's so bloody, and that's what makes it also good, because it's not like a torture porn. It's not like it's trying to shock.
Can we talk about that's a great term? Torture porn.
That's essentially what like Hostel and Saw and all those movies were trying to do. But Turbo Kid does that also, but it's not meant to be like, you know, shocking or like going for the shock factor with the audience. It's there just because it's there. And it for some reason it just fits. And it's so creative. There's a point where they're in a big fight. A dude gets chopped in half. His top torso flies off. And then lands on another.
Wait a minute. His top torso instead of like his bottom torso.
God damn, Christian's giving me shit. Fucking his torso from like the waist up gets chopped off from his body, but it doesn't just slide up. He flies upward. Just his torso, arm, torso, no legs, his head, all of that flies off into the air, and then it lands on someone else, and it just slides onto him like a helmet. So there's one shot where like you see all these badass fighters, you know, they're standing there looking all cool, and then there's one dude who's just kind of like standing around and wandering, like can't figure out where he's going because he has a giant ass torso of a person on top of his head.
He wore him as a hat.
He wore his fucking upper half as a hat.
Everything you just said, I don't know why. I was listening to it and it made me think of Hobo with a Shotgun. You saw that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. If you haven't seen Hobo with a Shotgun, just give yourself an hour and a half maybe.
Yeah.
Just watch it once, because I'm not sure you'll want to watch it more than that. But it's one of those movies I watched in college, and I was like, I get you. I understand.
Because it's one of those. It's not like I don't like using the whole so bad it's good, so good it's bad formulas. But this is one of those that like it's bad in a good way, but that's what made it so positive. Like Sharknado, for example, you look at those ratings. Sharknado has like an 80 to 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Never seen any Sharknado movies, for the record.
I won't. They're not doing the same thing. Like it's kind of the same idea.
They're coming out with a new one, right?
Yeah. Fucking number 5, I think, because yeah.
Okay, speaking of movies with numbers, right? It is my personal opinion, right? And you battle me on this one, hear me out, add, subtract to it. The second you go 7 or above, you're in like porn territory.
Oh yeah.
It's like Sharknado 7. JK, it's like Shark Dick 7. Attack of the Octopussy. It's like, whoa.
I mean,
slow down.
Look at fucking Saw. There's 7 Saw movies out.
Saw's a porn. Literal porn.
It's literally torture porn. It's just lots of gross out.
No, not figuratively porn, but torture porn. It's if you watch it and you slow it down frame by frame, it's actually a porn. Like seriously, slow that shit down. I tell you, every other frame, porn. Watch it. It's a fact. Look it up.
I'm not gonna lie though. I do love the first Saw movie. Dude, the first one is
because it was original.
Yeah, it was. And by the end, you know, nowadays no one would take that seriously. Like, oh yeah, he was. Spoiler alert. He was the
if you haven't seen Saw, fuck you. Here's a spoiler.
12 years ago. Fucking 13, 14 years ago. Holy shit.
Okay, before you give the spoiler, what is the minimum amount of time, right, where in between an event in a movie or a TV show or a book happening that you shouldn't have to say spoiler? Like, what's that minimum amount of time? Let's say, what's the minimum amount of time for a TV show?
I think for a TV show should be a lot longer, because I know there's people who still haven't seen like Game of Thrones,
right?
Because my dad, for example, he was
watching with your dad right now.
He was watching Game of Thrones with my dad, and yeah, we're on season 6, and it's like that is still very recent, but at the same time, like with a TV show, I'd say 10 years.
10 years?
10 years before
you don't have to say spoiler.
Because yeah, like even the Red Wedding, for example, like that's still a very huge thing.
Okay, so
even though it was in the books for several years before the TV show adapted it, that's still it's such a huge turning point that it's like you don't want anyone to find out.
So what's the minimum amount of time you should wait until you don't say spoiler alert for a book? What do you think?
For a book?
Yeah, let's say because like George R. R. Martin, like how old are the fucking Game of Thrones books? They like did he write them?
96. I think is when the first one came out. And
Game of Thrones.
And then I know Dance with Dragons came out 2011, I believe. but like, because there was a huge gap. The first 3 books,
1996.
Yeah, Game of Thrones came out in 96.
We are 3 years older than goddamn Game of Thrones. Suck it, George R. R. Martin.
A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
You know, there's a funny little tidbit I want to mention about that. So the books are called A Song of Ice and Fire.
Right.
And when I was a kid, there was a game that I used to play. Well, technically a demo. It was like this demo disc that I had. And there was a game on there that I really freaking loved called Ice and Fire. Mm-hmm. It's like a Windows 95, like, very basic Doom-like shooter, but it's so much more, like, dumbed down. And when I grew up, I started looking for it again because I didn't have the demo disc. And when I Googled Ice and Fire, A Song of Ice and Fire kept coming up. And I'm like, it was so fucking annoyed. Like, I'm not looking for a book. I'm looking for a video game. And then I realized, oh yeah, it's a Windows 95, you know, trial piece of shit that no one's going to know jack about. But everyone knows A Song of Ice and Fire. And little did I know that that was going to be adapted into one of the most popular HBO, most pirated series of all time.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was going to become my new favorite, you know, fantasy series. So...
Okay, so final question in this spoiler conversation. How long is the minimum amount of time to wait for a movie?
For a movie.
I feel like a movie, if it's like let's say it's like a standalone film.
Less than a decade, maybe?
Less than 10 years. I say like 4.
4.
If you can graduate high school in the amount of time a movie's been out, you should have probably seen it.
Yeah.
Like, as an example, it's like, hey guys, fuck you, Snape kills Dumbledore.
Even though Half-Blood Prince came out like 8-9 years ago.
Right,
and
right.
It's like,
God,
yeah,
we're old.
It's a fucking meme now.
Oh
It's
my
a
God,
meme like,
old.
oh, Snape kills Frodo or something like that. That you see those comments everywhere on YouTube, and it gets
Use
fucking
the Force,
annoying.
Frodo. Fucking quote Dumbledore. Fuck you. Speaking of memes, let's segue into our cultural fucking conversation.
Why
so
not?
this is one thing that we said we were going to talk about last week, right? But we didn't. Is American versus international snacks. Oh my god!
There's so much out there.
I fuck with some Haichu. If you haven't eaten a bag of Haichu, I recommend going out to your local international store and buying it. So, as Matt eats a gummy bear.
A Rebo gummy bear?
I have up right now, just to fun fact check, right? The difference in dietary facts for...
oh yeah, because international and American stuff, like, they're made so differently.
I gotta do a little bit of
amazing.
math here. I know what the math for this is. Okay, so according to this stuff, 4.7 gram thing of Haichu, green apple flavor, is
what is Haichu from?
I don't quite know. All I know is I put it in my body. Haichu origin. Let's look it up. Haichu, widely in shops in Taiwan, Shanghai, Singapore, and Hong Kong. So I'm assuming it's a Chinese snack, right? So Haichu is in one piece is 20 calories. In one Starburst, because on this it says a serving size of 8 Starburst is 160 calories. So what, like 160 divided by 8, it's 20. So the same amount of calories in one piece, apparently.
27 calories in one Haichu?
20.
20, holy shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Ooh, okay, maybe they're not as good. No total fat, which is awesome. Let's look at Starburst. 17% fat. Okay, so they're really not that different. The thing is, though, is like I ate it, right? And you know what I hate about artificial flavoring? They never get grape right. But this is the best goddamn artificial grape I have ever tasted. And I love green grapes over like red grapes. And the only flavor they have of grape in Haichu is regular red grape. And I'm like, or purple, whatever. I'm like, this is gonna suck ass because artificial grape always sucks ass. I ate it. I'm like, holy fuck, you can taste the peel. Oh. So,
anything grape flavored when I was a kid gave me a headache for some reason.
Really? Is that still true?
Even just
now?
thinking about it, like, yeah, I don't know if it's a genetic thing or whatever, but just like anything grape flavored.
Your
besides
Greek, German, Mexican things, like it all came together, and somewhere in the DNA stream, just like we're gonna fuck this kid over every time he thinks about grapes.
That's pretty much what like the brain genes are thinking. You know, I have like this little office going on in my brain, just like. Yeah, he's gonna hate peanut butter for most of his life. He's gonna hate grapes for most of his life.
Matt, do you hate peanut butter?
I love peanut butter now.
God bless. Matt, we can still be friends, okay? It's cool.
I figure, you know, hey, if I can't keep you on your toes at least once or twice, you know, talking about this shit, then it's like he is about to cut a bitch.
You.
I'm the bitch.
Speaking of cultural shit like that, so we talked about international snacks. I ran into a situation this week. Daphne, Shannon, Steven, and I went ice skating. And I was wearing a Bruins jersey because there was a game that night, and it was ice skating. Of course, I'm going to rep my team, right? It's fun. Because then someone walks up to me like, holy shit, you like hockey? I'm like, fuck yeah, I like hockey. And it's great. Underneath my Bruins jersey...
Plot twist,
I was wearing a Steven Universe shirt. Pink shirt, big yellow star. And I see another person at the rink, also wearing the same Steven Universe shirt. And I'm like, oh, I want to talk to you about Steven Universe, except you look like you're in a high school and I'm 23. Let's not.
I think pre-recording you were saying that he looked like he was 14 years old.
Yeah, she looked like 14 years old.
She was a girl?
Yeah, and I was just like...
Yeah, no.
I was like, I'm not gonna... like, I have a beard, and I'm weird, and I'm like skating around, like skating really fast around. I'm like, hey kid, nice shirt. But then I'd have to like pull my sweater down to reveal the star. I'm like, how bad does it look to me skate up to you and be like, hey, nice shirt?
How can you not remove a zipper and it not like even just normally doing it like just like looks seductive?
Yeah, it's
for
like
whatever reason.
Speaking of seductive, I guarantee you it is impossible to look sexy and seductive while eating a grape. You cannot eat a grape sexy. It does not exist. Fuck you otherwise. Maybe there's another food that I thought about this. You can't eat Cheez-Its sexy.
Cheez-Its?
You cannot eat a Cheez-It and look sexy. I can't like look at you in the eye and look all sultry and just be like...
I mean, I don't know. That episode of JonTron where he gets like Captain Crunch thrown at his face and he's like holding it.
Oh my god, like the slow-mo like money shot cam.
And then he's just cracking his ass up.
Daphne just like pointed at us like, yes!
Which fucking, I'm not gonna lie, that game that he was talking about, the Crunchling Adventure, I had that as a kid.
Of course.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of reviewers, you know, do that. And I get like they have to fill in, you know, their time and they can't talk about things for too long. But like when I saw it, I was like nostalgia blown, and I was like, I gotta find that fucking CD, and I found it.
Nice.
But I can't run it because everything in my parents' house runs Windows 10. So,
speaking of games that are like old that we want to play again, like doing that. Fuck, Warcraft. I want to play like the OG Warcraft games,
like the one that like the movie tried to respect.
See,
and then
they went out. Okay, speaking of that, good conversation. They were like, hey, here's the Warcraft, you know, game timeline. Here's like the movie timeline, and for the record, they're gonna be hella different. So now, and then you get into like World of Warcraft, where they have the timeline. Then Draenor happens, and the timeline's fucked again. So you get like 8,000 fucking timelines flying around. It's like, oh my god, please! I just want to see Gul'dan be an asshole, please. And they got that right. Gul'dan was a cunt that whole fucking movie game.
I mean, he was great. You can't lie. A lot of the voice acting and like
so
it was like, I'm not gonna lie. You know, you guys can burn me at the stake for it or crucify me for this. But
I get it because you're Catholic. Sorry.
The voice acting and like the animation is on par with Avatar.
The animation was so
Durotan
good.
is great. His wife, they all have emotions. Gul'dan looks like an asshole and he talks like an asshole.
What I really liked,
the first 10 minutes of that started so strong when they first opened the portal and then they go through. I'm like, I am watching a fucking Warcraft movie.
I loved the animation. I'm glad you brought up the animation because that animation was so crisp. What I loved is you've seen it, right?
Oh yes.
Just
once though, I need to see it again.
I've seen like well, we need to go get it and watch it. When Gul'dan removes his robes to fight, right? And you see his spikes, right? That is a really great reveal because up until that point, it is believed that that's just part of his armor. Like, he's got spiky warlock armor. It's like, no. He's just so corrupted with fell magic that he has grown spikes. It's like, oh. So he's just like, all right, Duratan, we're fucking fighting. Spoiler alert. Sparwolf alert. Matt's gamer tag. Hello. Spoiler alert. Duratan and Gul'dan fight. Fucking play Warcraft. And it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, this isn't armor. This is literally just me. Ugh. It's like, you're going to cut someone with that. Please stop. Damn, I fucking love the Warcraft movie.
The actors could have done a little... I was kind of expecting a little more from Trevor, what's-his-face.
Yeah.
Because he was in Vikings. And I saw a couple episodes
Still haven't
of
seen Vikings.
It's okay.
I've been told it was good.
It looks like Game of Thrones. It feels like Game of Thrones.
But it's not Game of Thrones.
It's a History Channel show. So it kind of like...
It has to, like... It's still bound by, like, network
It has
television.
to be informative and all that crap, but it was fun. But anyway, he was good in that. Trevor... Oh, God.
IMDb!
Warcraft 2020, 2016.
Okay, what am I looking up? Warcraft movie cast. Okay.
Yeah, he plays Anduin Lothar in it.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
I was expecting him to do a lot better just because like he was in Vikings, but I don't know. It's just a lot of it seemed really, really campy. So
it is Mr. Travis Fimmel.
Travis Fimmel. Okay. Wow, I butchered that. I am so sorry.
Can we take a moment to just like recognize how good this headshot looks?
Yes,
that's a really.
It doesn't even look like him. Man. Every time I see him, he has a beard on.
Is that the main guy from Vikings?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that's him!
Yeah,
he's hot as fuck. Because like he looks good in the beard. Like he looks damn good in the long hair and the beard. But I
you
did not
should see him.
That under
if
the
you
face.
see him in Vikings, he has like a man bun, and then he has like the double braided beard on the bottom.
I'm looking at it right now.
It looks pretty badass.
I didn't realize that was him.
Oh yeah, it's the same dude.
I agree. I feel like we could have gotten more out of him. But like the scene where he spoiler alert. When his son bites the dust.
Yeah.
Him, from that point on, it's like, holy shit. Like, as an actor, you need to find inspiration to do everything. Like, you can't just, as an actor, whether you're on the stage or in film, every action has to have a purpose, right? You can't just stand up because the script told you to stand up. It's like, why are you standing up? You can make that shit up. It's because I want to go blow out that candle. No. After his son died, you can tell that he found the purpose for his character. And I feel like his acting got better as the movie went on. But I agree. I feel like throughout the movie, we could have gotten way more. Like when he's talking with, God, I'm the one that plays WoW here. Fuck, what's his name? Wizard. Oh my god.
Ben Foster?
Medivh. When he's talking to Medivh. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, yeah, fuck everything, my son's dead. And it just got way better after that. God, we need to watch Warcraft movie again.
Because I feel like I didn't give it enough of a chance.
Ben Foster, you were right.
Ben Foster's I saw him in Hell or High Water, and I'm surprised he did not get nominated for anything because like he's a great actor.
He was in 3:10 to Yuma.
3:10 to he was Charlie.
3:10 to Yuma.
The book, have you seen my short film I made from K-State for that?
Maybe.
It was so stupid, but at the same time so fun to make.
Another self-promotion masturbation.
It's on my YouTube channel and still there for some reason, but holy shit. I had a lot of fun, especially because I was literally the only one who did work on it.
He was Angel in X-Men The Last Stand.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
How have you not known who Ben Foster is? He was also in Bang Bang You're Dead. The
Bless
play.
you.
He was in Bang Bang You're Dead, the movie based on the play.
Mm-hmm.
Pandorum with Dennis Quaid, which was critically panned, even though I kind of enjoyed it because it also had a very young Norman Reedus in it, and I love Norman Reedus from Boondock Saints. Holy shit!
Fun fact: I love Boondock Saints. It's a fucking great movie. Mm-hmm. Never saw the second one, but apparently there's going to be a third one.
They're trying. They're really
trying. I remember
trying.
The director was like, "Listen, 2 sucked ass." Like he admitted straight up 2 was not good.
Troy Duffy.
But he was like, "Man, I'm so glad you're here because I can say something like, oh, the director of Boondock Saints,' and you're like, oh yeah, fuckhead, it's Troy Duffy." I'm like,
I'm a fucking cinephile.
I appreciate that about you. He said like 2 sucked, and we can all agree 2 sucked. However, we are going to try to make 3 not suck. I'm
Yeah.
like, please, because I'll watch if they make a 3rd one. I will watch the 2nd one then.
I still like
then I'll
too,
watch the
even
third
because even though it was bad, I still consider it canon. Because like there were some
It
moments
should
in
be.
it that I still admired. Because like it took them so long to make the sequel that I can understand why, you know, in this day and age, a movie like that would not fly. Because even the first one, a lot of people hated. It was a cult.
It was cool.
It was a cult movie for a long time, and it's like it had a very strict following.
Me, I
Yeah.
followed it. It was so good. High five. That was gonna be really loud, but I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's just an interesting series of movies that like you think it feels like a superhero origin kind of thing because like they're out there destroying evil, but they're literally just 2 Irish brothers
There's
going
2 Irish Catholic dudes like, evil sucks.
Irish Catholic guns, you know.
Okay.
Just-
Fucking great movie. Very well directed. Love the cinematography in it. I think one of my favorite scenes is the very first scene of the movie where they're sitting in the pews, right? Before they go out to fuck some shit up, right?
Yeah.
And they're sitting there, and they have like the guest fucking father speaking, right?
Yeah.
It's like, blah, 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 and then he sits down, and they just get up, they walk, and they go kiss Jesus' feet on the cross, right?
Yeah.
And the guest guy is like, stands up to yell at them all appalled,
Yeah,
and the
he
dude
looks
just
all
like
pissed.
sits and he's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't fuck with them. Just like, it's cool, man.
It's
This
like
happens.
John Wick. It's like it's a fleshed out world.
So fucking great fucking movie, John Wick. Oh my god.
Because that's what makes John Wick so great is because they already know who he is.
John Wick is an action movie for the sake of being an action movie. One reason I think it did so well is, and sorry to cut you off there, because like I do want to talk about, I think I know where you're going, and I want to talk about that. It was an action movie that didn't try to be anything but an action movie. It was like, listen, here's the premise, here's some exposition for you. By the way, his dog's dead and he's pissed. Let's fuck some shit up.
Yeah, and like the fucking mob boss even knows, and like that's what made it so great because you know from the moment that, you know, the car dealer, John Leguizamo, when he calls John up and says like, I heard you struck my son, what the fuck was that all about? You know, getting all menacing and intimidating,
And he's like,
I'm gonna kill you because you slapped my son. And then he tells him, oh, well, because your son came in here with John Wick's car and also admits how he fucked up his dog.
And he's like, oh.
And then the mob boss is like, just totally turns on its head. Like,
he's like, oh. It's like, that makes sense.
And yeah, and then he realizes how fucked he is. That's what I felt like the Boondock Saints was trying to be at the beginning. And then I think just because something with the writing just made it feel very disjointed, but they still had the moments that made it watchable. I mean, because they don't even kill anybody for the sake of killing them. The first 2 victims that they kill are because they set his ass on fire and then broke someone else's head with a bottle, you know, in a bar.
They did something bad. They were
And
threatening them.
then the mobsters came to their house, you know, broke in, and then they take the brother out to be killed, and the other one, who was handcuffed to a fucking toilet,
lifts the toilet,
rips the toilet
from the pipes,
off the floor,
drops it,
carries it to the roof,
fucking Ezio's that shit bleeding from his wrist. Oh my god!
And
what a good fucking movie!
I have a disjointed shoulder now. Thanks, Christian.
You're fucking welcome.
He shook the fuck out of me.
Fucking love Boondock Saints. Fuck with me.
That's why, you know, those movies. Yeah, that's like Boondock Saints and John Wick. They're like action movies just for being the sake of action movies.
Another good movie. You said disjointed, like writing and story.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of one of my all-time favorite movies. And I feel kind of like, not really hipstery about saying it, but I feel kind of movie snobby about saying this because I brought this up to other people and they're like, you're just saying that because everyone says that. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is the same. I think it's more mainstream though, just because it's Tarantino.
Yeah, it's Tarantino. And
they already recognized. No one knew Troy Duffy before Boondock Saints, but Tarantino was already, you know, in the works because of Reservoir Dogs, which I'm not gonna lie, I like more than Pulp Fiction.
I agree. Reservoir Dogs is a better movie. Though I really like Pulp Fiction is like I think huge, but like anytime it's on, I'm just like, I'm gonna watch this.
Royale with cheese.
Do you know what they call it in France? What? Royale cheese. This is a tasty burger.
It's fucking SLJ, man.
Does he look like a bitch? Anyway, there is somewhere flying around the internet. I haven't seen it yet, but I really want to see it. Is someone took every scene from Pulp Fiction and cut it together, but chronologically. Because it's all chronologically out of whack, and eventually it all comes to a head. But it's like I want to watch that movie chronologically just to see what happens.
Speaking of Pulp Fiction, to backtrack to Life is Strange.
Rewind.
Rewind literally because you can rewind in the game. Haha. Dice.
That's a fucking multi-layer joke, bitch.
It's Life is Strange. It's interesting that after she discovers her rewind ability, she asks her nerdy guy friend who knows a lot about science fiction, and he sends her a list of movies that she should watch, just for the sake of them being time travel movies. And guess which one is on there?
Is it
Pulp Fiction?
Time Traveler's Wife. Oh.
The contradiction there was just beautiful.
Ooh, fucking funny.
Because, and I was wondering why that was, and then he mentions, and then he puts, you're reading the email and it shows all the movies that he's recommending to you, and he says Pulp Fiction, and then in parentheses it says, this one not for the sake of it being sci-fi, but for the sake of relativity and how everything has consequences and kind of comes to play. Mm-hmm. Because that's what Pulp Fiction does. It jumps all over the place, and yet everything is slowly connected for the sake of it being, a connected story. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it was so awesome, because if it was chronological, it could have been pretty boring as fuck. Mm-hmm. But because, we jumped from one story to another, and then one dude dies, but then it comes back and he's still alive. And it's like, that may not be an accurate, just interpretation of relativity, but
it's still something to think about.
It's still something to think about because there's still that connection. But that's another thing about Life is Strange, is that it makes a lot of cultural references like that. Mm-hmm. I just fucking first episode is free, please. I
might play that tonight.
It's so fucking great. Life is Strange is really fucking great.
Okay, speaking of stuff, so I wanna run this by you, and if anyone is actually listening to this podcast, do us a favor, and I hate to be campy and do this, but I'm going to. And if I really wanted to do this, I should have done this in the first 5 minutes. Because if someone is going to listen to this at the end, we'll know because they'll comment. Right? Oh, yes. But I should have. We'll do it next time. We'll learn. We're learning. It's podcast number 2 for us. Fuck yeah. Hey, guess what? Guess what we do with this podcast, Matt? We double our podcast output today. We have 1, now we have 2. Fuck with me, math. But no, I'm thinking we do something, and Rooster Teeth did this. They had their podcast, The Patch, which was strictly their gaming podcast, and they did like a book club theme type thing, and they had a name for it, and I remember what it was called.
Bookworms.
Where they picked a game, played it, and then discussed it on the next episode. I think I'll play the first episode of Life is Strange. And then we can talk about that. Because if I want to play it after that, I'll just buy it. And then I'll play it, and then we can talk about it ad nauseum next week.
Oh, I'm sure.
And if there's some type of game, or book, or movie, or something you want Matt and I to discuss, fucking hit us up. We love this shit. Let's do this.
We are all looking for interesting stuff.
At us on Twitter. We don't give a fuck to be like, hey, yo, 2 bros, 1 mic. Play this fucking game, you fucks, and we'll be like,
play this game, read this book, watch this movie, watch this anime.
Oh my god, anime! Oh my god.
I'm sure we have a lot already on our palette as far as anime goes.
Okay,
but
rewind to last week. We talked about Gurren Lagann a lot,
which I finally experienced that Red Wedding moment that you were hyping so much about.
Did you cry? Because I cried.
I didn't. But okay. I just felt very.
Did you feel?
I felt very soulless.
Good.
Just very empty after
it happened.
Because I just was thinking, oh god, this dude is being so ramped up to be such a badass, and I just know if they're smart with this character, that
waveform was so big.
I imagine it was. But this dude, if the way I saw it was I wanted him to die, mm-hmm. just because if they're smart, the way they're building this up, they can't make it be too cliche and be like, oh, he's gonna get it out of this, and that's what they kind of did.
It felt like
then he had
his last hurrah. Okay, spoiler alert.
They gave us that dose of reality.
Spoiler: if you haven't made it through episode 8 of Gurren Lagann, you're gonna want to stop listening now. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kamina dies.
So Kamina dies. Holy fuck! Oh my god! So he's sitting there. He fucking C-Mode is having a mental fucking existential crisis, and he's fighting. He's in his tiny mech. Kamina leaves his mech in the middle of a fight to punch him in the face. Let me see you grit those teeth, and he knocks him one.
Just punches Simone in the face,
and he's just like, dude, snap the fuck out of it. I love you. Believe in yourself. Blah blah. And he's like, got it. And he's like, cool, I'm going to walk back to my mech like a badass. I'm going to get my mech. And out of nowhere, he just gets speared through the middle of his mech where his cockpit is. And we don't hear from him for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then eventually, and then
you see him like collapsed inside the bigger mech.
Yeah.
And he's just crushed. And it's like, oh, he's
everyone's
just out,
everyone's like, oh, he's dead. Oh shit, he's gone. So Simone goes back to having existential crisis. He then removes his arm because they're far away. They're not close to each other. He removes his arm from his mech and throws it at him and punches him in the face again. But from mech to mech, and he's like, hey, fuck you. Get over here and let's fight. And they have one last hurrah, and they fight, and they kill their the enemy. And I didn't realize this the first time I watched it, but I watched it because I watched it with Shannon, who introduced it to me. Then I watched it once with Daphne. Then I watched it once with you. I didn't realize the freaking Giga Drill break, the finishing move that he does, right? That's the first time he ever does that, right before Kamina dies. And that is a constant reoccurring thing. That's his final move. And then he's like, he gave this really great speech about believing in yourself. They finished the fight and he's like, bro, we did it. And there's just silence and he's like, later, bud. Final fucking words. He just says, see you to his brother. It's like, oh. He's like, bro, and he's fucking dead.
I'm not gonna lie, if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop yet, have you?
I watched it as a kid. I don't remember how it ends, and we are currently rewatching.
How it ends, like you have.
I remember it being intense.
The whole series, is like that, but the very last words of the series are just like that. Kamina going, later, buddy.
Fuck. Is it what's the tagline at the end of every episode? It's
see you later, Space Cowboy.
Is those the final words?
You're gonna carry that weight.
Is that fun? You're gonna carry that weight? Daphne says.
That's the series finale is different, obviously, but like the actual words that are spoken,
My computer's disconnected from the internet for some reason. Fuck you, computer.
Oh, of course. If I need to look something up, I can do that for you.
Thank you.
But anyway, yeah, fucking Cowboy Bebop has that, That's what made Gurren Lagann so interesting, is that could have been, the series finale with Kamina. They have all these grand adventures. They had 26 episodes of kick-ass stuff together. And then the very last episode is when he goes, later, buddy, and that's when he dies. And it's like, they've already had that. It's like in the first
8 episodes. It's like that's a season. You're right. That's a season or a series finale kicker.
That's an arc right there. Yeah.
And it's done in 8 episodes. Now Daphne and Daphne's ahead of me, but we as a collective are on episode 17. And minor spoiler, but no major spoiler. Major spoiler for you is at some point when the arc actually shifts to the next arc, they just jump 7 years in the future.
7 years.
7 years.
That's I kind of figured. They weren't gonna keep Simone as a kid.
Let's
forever.
be honest. When the first scene of the show is Simone in space doing a big ass space battle. It's like, well, clearly you meet Simone and he's like 12.
Oh, I don't know that Simone.
Yeah, you do. They mentioned that that's Simone. You've seen that. You've seen that at this point.
The very first scene.
They mentioned that already. Sorry.
They say that he's Simone.
No. Where you're at now, they mentioned it's Simone.
Huh.
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Okay, so
well, I guess that's not terribly.
If you go back and watch the first episode, it's like, and you watch it again now, it's blatantly obvious because he's sitting there and he's holding his necklace.
Yeah.
Like that's Simone. It has to be.
Huh.
And if it's not, then I haven't got that far. But I'm pretty sure that's fucking Simone because he's like, yep, fuck you.
Because I still haven't watched episode 9. I'm still on Kamina's death, so I may have to watch the rest of it.
Hey, watch that shit. God damn. We're getting close to time.
Are we?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Hey, so it's 10 o'clock. If we wrap this up after talking about some more random shit, you want to watch Turbo Kid? It's on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I think we should watch it. All right, so on that note, we're going to go watch some fucking Turbo Kid. Thank you for tuning in to this episode's week of Digital Leftovers. Fun fact, I almost fucked up that exit line because I forgot the name of our goddamn podcast. I was like halfway through the sentence and I was like...
Look at Digital.
I was like, fuck, who
and
are
then
we?
I did it too.
Who are we? Oh yeah, fuck, we're Digital Leftovers. So thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Digital Leftovers. That's episode 2. It's been a blast. We're going to keep doing this.
Something to think about, when you guys are, going to bed or, you're doing your morning routine after you've listened to all us bicker and batter for, hour and a half to 2 hours and all that shit.
This shit.
Just ask yourself, Is Macaroni bending downwards or upwards?